Hello everyone, Snipe Training here. Today is Thursday, April 8th, and I'll be going over my recap for today. So today, trade last today, it was very light action. There was only maybe one or two tickers that had action that I had my focus on, and that was BIOL and STPK. But I traded a total of 6 stocks today, up a total of $343. And I'll go over my thought process on each of these tickers. So if you haven't known already, I trade these two strategies day in and out, looking patiently for these setups. So the long flag pennant and the short setup for the inverted cup and handle, and looking for that inverted cup line to break and risking the prior lows or prior high. So let's get to it. So BIOL. So on the chart here, it looks like I overtraded a bit, but I had a strong bias on the short side because it was very extended on the hourly time frame and the 15-minute time frame in the morning. So my first two trade here I took for a loss. You can see this one was a inverted cup and handle here. It spiked back down a little bit. I tried to re-add and then I stopped out. So this was a $100 loss. And you can see it's still extended on the 5-minute 9 EMA and the VWAP area. So I was more short bias. So I took a loss here on this short and I tried to re-add, thinking it would crack it, retest 86 cents. But I had my stop here and it took me out there for a $100 loss. And my next trade here was a similar trend. I was looking at a flag break fell flag. It fell there momentarily, so I went ahead and tried to look for a short inverted cup and handle to get that test on the 5-minute IMA. So eventually it got there right here. That's why I shorted. I made a mistake of not covering any here. This was pretty much a break even from the loss here, and I end up taking it for a small loss here when it broke these highs. So that's where I stopped out, and pretty much I was down $150 for these two trades on BIOL. It continued trending higher, so good stop here, and you can see there's another inverted cup and handle forming on this 1-minute trend. Went ahead and short that, and now this time I was looking for that 5-minute trend target. So it hit there, and I think I was up 150 here, making back the $150 loss as well here. Went ahead and reshort the pop after it was making, I think, this 96 area as resistance. Was prior support, became resistance. Covered some a bit here. Try to re-add on the pop, looking for the complete test of the 15-minute 9 EMA trend, and it ended up popping here, and that's where I stopped out. So I was up maybe $200 at this point, and there was a few more opportunities here that I took in and out a couple times. So it broke $1 here and went to 101, and you can see a big red volume bar. So I went ahead and looked for a fail flag. So this was a 1-minute fail flag here. I went ahead and add a couple short there. Again, looking for that 15-minute test. It didn't actually get there, but I went ahead and covered most of them there. I had a few, so I had 1,000 shares that I think I re-added around this 975 area, around here, when it was trying to test, and then maybe having a leg down here with the bear flag. The bear flag break to the 15-minute. I ended up pushing back up, and I stopped out just roughly in this 98 area. And that was like for a small win from here. And then there was another push, attempted to push here off this flag. It failed. I looked for an inverted cup and handle. It broke, and that's where I covered here, and then it reshort. Now here's the bear flag that happened. reshort the bear flag and went back down to VWAP. And I covered the rest there on VWAP. Since I think this stock was pretty stubborn, it doesn't tend to, retest those higher time frames that often. You can see the hourly is extended, just retested VWAP here and went higher to 103s. So that was that trade. Went in and out a few times here. Kind of the same original plan. You're looking for that inverted cup and handle extension and shorting it back down to the 90 EMA of the higher time frame. So that was $325 on BIOL. Next trade is STPK. So STPK was a short little scalp here. I think it was extended on the 1 minute time frame as well, and I was looking for that retest on the 5 minute. So you can see inverted cup and handle right here. Took that short break at 30.38 and covered my last bit at 30.09s there when it was testing the 5 minute 9 EMA. And then shortly after it tested, it popped back up, but that was just a quick $160 scalp there. There might be another opportunity here. You can see short bounce off the 5 minute again, but I wasn't watching it there. But that was few setups there. Next trade was for a $47 win on APRE. So APRE was also a short scalp, and this was a 5 minute trend. So you can see the 5 minute trend is usually a little wider, and there it broke, took that short and went ahead and covered, I think, yeah, pretty much all of it out in VWAP. Since VWAP is very close nearby, just covered there. It eventually broke below VWAP, retested VWAP in the 5 minute 9 EMA on the downside, and then after it fell to hold above it, you get that next leg down there. So that's APRE for a $47 win. Next trade was SFET. So FETT had a potential flag. I think it broke. So I took this flag break here, I think roughly here, when it was trying to go above VWAP. I took that flag break. It went and hit VWAP. I was like up like $15-20 here, and then I just took a small loss once when it broke the prior low here. So I took that loss there. Eventually it had a wider flag that extended out here after pretty much the hourly has caught up, and there was a nice flag break here for maybe a couple cent risk, and it went pretty high here after the VWAP squeeze. So I was actually kind of looking for this move around here, but I think this was also in the middle of lunch, so no volume. So got to extend the flag, and that flag break there would have worked out well. So that's SFBT for a small loss, $14. Next trade was IZEA. So IZEA also, this one had a little bit of low volume. I saw it was breaking this trend line on the 5 minute trend, and I looked for a short on that trend break, and then also it was creating this inverted cup and handle, and didn't exactly create the break there of the cup line. I went in a little bit too early, and it started holding a higher low and trending higher there, and I took the loss there when it broke, when it had this little spike. $53 loss there on IZEA. My last trade, biggest loser for today of $78, is GNPX. The GNPX had a, you can see it started forming this inverted cup and handle right there. Actually, broke a little bit, and I think the trend I've been seeing is if it breaks like this with a little wick and recovers, usually it's like a bad sign that it's gonna go higher. So I need to kind of pick up these signs a little earlier, and maybe just stop out a little bit sooner. But that was that trade there on GNPX. Just a little extension, the 1 minute extension, looking for that 5 minute test, and sometimes it doesn't break fully, but just got to keep your losses small. So all in all, so trade 6 tickers, up a total of 343 for today. And yeah, so if you enjoy these content and these recap videos, be sure to hit the subscribe and like button to support the channel. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Goodbye.